Welcome guys, welcome to the module 16 of Selenium RC. In this module we'll be talking about online web tables and how to work with the CAPTCHA submission. So we'll be looking at the web tables. So basically, what are web tables? Web tables are the HTML tables, the tables on the web page. So those are known as web tables. So we'll be working with dynamic web tables, the data that will be changing dynamically on that web table. We'll be working with those web table. We'll be seeing how to extract data, how to find rows and columns count of a dynamic web table. We'll see how to extract the dynamic data from rows and columns, and then we'll see the example on how to work with the online CAPTCHAs. So first of all, we'll see what is a web table. So we'll go to this website. This is a cricket scoreboard website. So this is basically a web table which is displaying the records, the scoreboard of the current cricket match. So, and what is happening is that after 15 to 20 seconds, this scoreboard automatically get refreshed. So the scores gets updated whenever new runs are made or whenever there are new players that comes in. So each time after 15-20 seconds, these scoreboard gonna update its results, and we will gonna capture these results, and we're gonna print these results through our automation script. So the next example that we will gonna see is that we'll go to a website that is Times of India, indiatimes.com, and what we will gonna do, this is a CAPTCHA image, so we will be calculating the result of this image and we'll submit the results. And this is also a dynamic CAPTCHA. So if I refresh the page and if I go back, if I visit this poll section again, so let me refresh the website. So every time I refresh this web page, this CAPTCHA image will gonna change. So I refresh it again and it now changed to 0 plus 1. So we gonna capture this dynamic CAPTCHA and we gonna enter the results over here. So this is all we gonna see in this current module. We're gonna work with CAPTCHAs and we gonna work on these web tables. So first of all, we'll see whether the Selenium server is running. Okay, Selenium server is running. So now we go to Eclipse and we'll create a new project. We'll give the project name as, let's say, module 16. Click on finish and we'll import Selenium jar file. We'll click on the build path and then configure build path. We'll add external jar file and we'll click on OK. So now we'll create a new class and give the class name as, let's say, online web tables, and we'll click or check the main method and we'll click on finish. Let me remove these comments and let me copy some code from my existing module. Let's copy this much part. Okay. So here we will give the website name. Let's say course.sifi.com. here to give the rest part of the web page. Let's save it and let's run it to see if the page comes up. Okay, so the web page is showing up. So now the next thing that we gonna do, we gonna capture the XPath of this web table. So how will we gonna do that? We'll go to Firefox. Let me close the Selenium and we'll open the Firebug. So first of all, we need to find the number of rows and number of columns in this web table. So what we'll do, we'll click on the inspect element and we'll see the XPath of this element. So you can see the XPath, the table row, the TR is the table row and TD is the table column. So the row index is second and the column index is also the second. If we move to the next column, so the column number increase from 2 to 3, and same way if we go to the next column, it increases from 3 to 4. Now if we go down to the row number, and we'll see the TR has now changed to 3, so the index has now changed to 4. So each time when we go down, the row number gets changed and incremented by 1. So same way the column number, if we go to the right side, the column number gets incremented by 1. So we're gonna apply our logic to calculate the number of rows and number of columns in this web table. So we'll go to Eclipse and we'll declare, first of all, we'll see how to find row count, and for that what we're gonna do, so since the row count was starting from 2, we'll write it x equal to 2 and then we'll declare another variable, that is the row num, and we'll start it from 1. So now what we're gonna do, we'll declare another variable, that is where we need to keep our XPath. So we'll declare a variable starting of the row, that is this one, and we'll copy the complete XPath. So we'll paste it over here and we need to break it from over here. So what will we gonna do, we're gonna delete this and this will be the row start XPath, and this will be our row and XPath. We'll declare another variable, that is string row and equal to this. So we have taken the starting XPath and we have taken the end XPath, and we have deleted the value that's been shown in this tr table row to make it dynamic. So now what we will gonna do, we'll write a while loop, while selenium dot is element present, and we'll give the value as row start plus x plus row end. So what we have done over here, the value that we have given, so the row start will gonna take this variable value, and then it will gonna add x, the value of x. Let's say the value of x is 2, so it will gonna add the value 2, and then it will add the value of the row end variable. So it will make a complete x path, and same way the while loop, till the while loop runs, so it will dynamically calculate the number of rows in the web table. So it will run till last of the row number. So now what we'll do, in the while loop will increment the value of x each time, and will increment the row number as well. So what this loop will gonna do, it will find the element, find this particular element till the last row, and then will print the row number. So we'll write row count was plus the row now. So let's save it and let's run it now. So it has gone to scores.sifi.com. Now go back to Eclipse. Why it is showing the row count as 1? Oh, okay. I've done a very silly mistake over here. What I have done is I have not mentioned the x path. Actually, I was taking the x path from the root of the HTML document. So I need to mention the x path like this. I need to put a x path equal to before this x path that I have copied. So now let me save it and let me run it again. So it has again gone to scores.sifi.com. And now let's go back to the Eclipse and see. So the row count is now showing as 14. So this is how we can dynamically calculate the row count from a HTML web table. So now we need to calculate the column count, and for that we'll again go to this website and we'll check where the column is starting from. So this is the first column. So the table dimension is showing the column index as 1. For row it was starting from second, and the column it is starting from the first. So we need to find out the results of the column from the column number 1. So we'll again copy this and we'll go back to Eclipse. So over here we'll copy paste the same thing. So now this will be our column start x path. So we'll remove this from over here. So since we only need to take the column path, column X path, we will remove this, and here we'll write string column and X path equal to this, put a semicolon over here, and again, since the column is starting from first dimension, so we'll write x equal to 1, and we'll declare another variable, that is column num, and we'll initialize it with 0. Now we'll copy the same loop over here, and we'll just change the variable name from row to column. And we'll write here column number plus plus, and then it will show the column count. So we have made all the possible changes, and we'll save it. Now we'll again gonna run it. So program is running. Go on to scores.sifi.com. Maximize the window, and now let's go back to the IDE Selenium, Eclipse, and the column count is 8. So the row count is 14 and the column count is 8. So these are the dynamic values. Let's suppose there are some more columns or more rows added to this web table. So this code will calculate the dynamic row number and column numbers on that web table. So the next thing that we gonna see is we gonna print the entire table cell values. We gonna print the entire rows and column cell values. So as I've already told you, this scoreboard get refreshed after 20 seconds. So this is all the dynamic data that's being displayed over here. So we need to get the values of these dynamic data. So what we gonna write, we gonna create a dynamic script that will extract the data from this web table, that will extract the dynamic data from this web table. So the next thing that we're gonna do, so we're gonna extract the dynamic data from the web table. Let me create a separator. And now what we will gonna do, will create a variable, let's say string xpath start, create another variable that is xpath mid, then the other variable xpath end, and we're gonna assign the start value on this xpath, the mid value and the end value. So what is the start value that we're gonna assign? When copy this value, this will be our start value, the xpath. This will be our mid value, will be our end value. So this will dynamically calculate the row number and the column number, and will gonna display the data in this rows and column cells. So for that we need to write another loop, that is the for loop. We'll write int columns equal to 1 and columns is less than equal to the column number that we have declared earlier, and then write column plus plus. Before this we need to find out the rows before finding out the column. Create another loop for rows, for int rows equal to 2. Since the row number was starting from 2, rows is less than equal to the row number, and then rows plus plus. Under this we'll keep this column loop, and over here we'll write system.out.println selenium.get text. We need to get the text from these cells, the column cells, and write the XPath start plus the rows plus the XPath mid value plus the columns plus the XPath end value. So the XPath start will get the value of the XPath start, and then the rows will get the dynamic row value, and then the XPath mid will get this value, and then the calls will get the dynamic column value, and then the XPath end value. So after this we're gonna save, and we're gonna write system.out.println so that to print all the values in separate lines. Now this is all that we need to do, and now let's run it and see what results will we get. So let us open the course.sifi.com and just maximize the window. I'll go to Eclipse and see what is happening. Okay, so it has actually extracted the rows data, the rows and the columns data. So you can see this user team Mayovo and the runs and the balls. So all the stuff has been extracted, and same way for other users as well. So we have actually extracted the data from the dynamic web table. So we got an error over here that the XPath this was not found. So the table dimension for the table row 13 was not found. So why it was not found, we'll again go to this. So what is happening over here is that under this table dimension table row 14 or table row 13. So under this table row 13 there is no table dimension 4. So over here we have this table dimension 4, 5, 6 and 7, and over here we don't have any table dimension 4. So what will we gonna do? We're gonna skip these two columns, and for that we'll write over here, we'll write the table row number, let's say -1, and then for the column also we'll write it -1. We'll save it and we'll again run it. So let me show you how the data gets printed in the Eclipse now. So the web page is already open, and now the results will gonna show in the Eclipse. Okay, so this time there is no error because we have captured it to the only this value. So after this value the program got terminated. So this is how we have captured the dynamic values from this web table. So whenever there is a new data that gets entered into this web table, so this script will dynamically gonna calculate that data. This script will dynamically gonna display that data. So now your exercise will be, you need to calculate these runs, and you need to match these runs with the expected value. So these runs will be dynamic and these runs will be dynamically calculated. So this will be your task that you need to do. If you got stuck somewhere, then you can take my help. I'll show you how to calculate these dynamically data and then compare it on the fly. So that is all we have in the online web tables. So these online web tables are really important because in every project, in every website, you're gonna deal almost in every web-based project you're gonna deal with the web tables. So you need to make sure that this chapter is absolutely clear to you, so that you will never get any difficulty while working with the online web tables and the dynamic data. Okay, so there is one more thing that I missed to tell you in this web table. So since we have done all this through our logic, we can also get it through our inbuilt Selenium method, that is get table. What we're gonna do, we'll see the Java doc. We'll go to seleniumhq.org and we'll see the Java doc for the web table for the web table method. That is, we'll go to the Selenium interface first and we'll see the get table method. Get table. So this is the get table method. What this get table will gonna do, this get table method will extract the text from the cell values of a table. So click on this method. So this is basically an example of get table. It has shown over here. So we need to specify the locator first. We need to specify the cell address, and we need to give the row number and the column number, and through this it will gonna extract this data. So now we'll see how dynamically we gonna extract the data from the get table method. We'll comment out this and we'll write system.out.println selenium.getTable, and we need to provide the X path of this table. So what is the X path of this table? we'll take the XPath from here. So the XPath of this table will be till XPath of this table will be up till this much. This is the first table, so this will be the XPath of this table. So we'll copy the XPath and we'll paste it over here. We'll write XPath equal to this dot, then we'll give the rows, we'll write rows, and then we'll write the columns dot and then we need to give the column plus columns. Okay. We'll remove this. Okay. So this is how we're gonna use the get table method. We have entered the XPath locator first, and then we have provided the rows and the column numbers. So this will generate the dynamic data from a web table. So now let's run it again and see the results. It has gone to the website. Okay, is extracting the data. Okay, so it has extracted the same data. So okay, again we have got the same error. So what we will gonna do, so it was searching the data till the last of the web table. So what we will gonna do to remove this error, we'll give the row number -1 and the column to be -1. So let's save it and let's run it again. So it has gone to the website. And let's go to Eclipse. So it has printed up till the last record. So this is how, I mean, we can use our own logic as well, and we can use the inbuilt method as well to find out the data from the web table. So both will gonna work the same way. So this is all we have in the web table examples. So there is nothing out of this in the web table. So this is all. If you practice this stuff, then you will gonna work with you will gonna know how to work with the dynamic data in the web table. So now we're gonna see another example that we have already discussed. So we'll see the example of how to capture this captcha values and how to print it over here. So for that, what we're gonna do, we'll create another class. We'll create a class, give the class name as, let's say, captcha example, print it there. So we'll copy this stuff from here and we'll change the website name to timesofIndia.indiatimes.com, and we'll remove this thing from here. So now what we need to do, we need to first find the x path of this element. So for that, we'll open up the fire path, and then so first of all we need to extract the text that's been written inside this captcha, inside this element. So we're gonna copy this, and over here we're gonna write string text new equal to selenium dot get text, and we'll mention the x path over here. So what this thing will gonna do, this will gonna extract the text from this x path, and it will gonna store it in a string variable. Now we're gonna print it, text new. Let's save it and let's run it. This website is a bit slow. Start opening. There's a lot of content in this website. Okay, so I think it has crashed. It has timed out after 30 seconds. So what we'll gonna do, we'll put a sleep time over here. We'll put a sleep time, let's say give the sleep time as set dot sleep, and it will wait for, let's say, 30 seconds before it errors out, and we'll import the exceptions. We should maximize it before opening the window. Okay. So now we'll again run it. It's going to the timesofIndia.com. Since the website has so much of the content, so it takes a bit time to load. Let's see if it has loaded the captcha. Okay, it has already loaded. The web page is already loaded, and the captcha value is 6 plus 0. Now I'll go over here. It's still running because I have given the sleep type as 30 seconds. So it will wait till 30 seconds, and then it will gonna execute the next command. So the web page is still loaded. I'll decrease the value of 30 seconds to, let's say, 20 seconds, because I think for the first time it takes web page to load. It takes time. Okay, so it has printed this value 6 plus 0. So this is the value that's been mentioned over here. It has already printed it. Okay, so let's decrease it to 2 seconds. So now the next thing that we gonna do is we need to break these values. So for breaking these values, we need 6 and then 0. And then what we need to do, we need to calculate this 6 and then 0. So first of all, we need to break these values. We need to break these string values, and for that we're gonna do, we'll write system.out.println, and then we'll write, we'll do it after this, text new. So there is a string method that is substring, and we'll mention the array beginning index, and we'll mention the index from where we need to extract the value. We want the value, so we'll run it and see whether it will give us something or not. So this time the value is 1 and 4. The program is still running. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it has printed the captcha value 1 plus 4 equal to, and then it has break this string value, and it has given the first value from the 0 to first index. Now the value we need is 4, and for that we need the index number starting from, this is the 0 1 2 3 sorry 1 2 3 4 4 and 5. So what we gonna do is we're gonna write another string starting from 4 till 5. So this index will be 4 and 5. Let's see if we get the value of 4 or not. So next time again the captcha value will be reloaded and it will be changed again. So we'll see whether we'll get the updated value or not. So let's go on to this website. So this time the value is 2 and 1. It's taking some time. I think I should again decrease the thread.sleep value to, let's say, 10 seconds. 20 seconds, it's still more time, so we can reduce it to 10 seconds. Okay, so it has break the string and it has given the value as 2 for the first and the second, then 1 for the second 4 to 5 index. So this 2 and 1, these are the string values, so we are storing it in a string. But for calculating these two numbers, so these string needs to be converted into an integer, because only integer values can be calculated. We cannot calculate a string or a text value. So first of all we'll reduce it to 10 seconds, and then we need to typecast, we need to convert the string values to the integer values. And how we will gonna do that, we'll write int number 1 for the first number, write integer dot parse int, and then we're gonna give this value over here. So this will gonna parse the first string value and it will convert it into the integer value. Same way we will gonna do for the second number, 4 and then 5, and then we'll declare another variable that is int, let's say we'll give the variable name as calculate equal to number 1 plus number 2, and then we're gonna print out this calculation. Let's save it and run it again. So it has opened timesofindia.com, and this time the value of a captcha element is 2 plus 5. Now see what's happening here. So still running. Okay, so see, this time it has shown the calculation 2 plus 5 equal to 7. So it has not dynamically calculated the values of the string numbers that we have broke down into and then we have converted into the integer values. So it has calculated these two dynamic values. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is that we have this calculated value. So the next thing that we're gonna do is we need to put these values in this XPath and this in this text box. So we need to find the XPath of this text box. So this is the XPath. So here we need to put our answer. So we need to type for that. There is a method that is selenium.type. So what this selenium.type, it accepts two arguments and both are the string arguments. So in the first argument we place the XPath, and in the second argument we need to send this variable. And since the variable is an integer type, so if I write the variable over here, so it will gonna throw an error. So either we need to change this integer variable to string. For that we again gonna change the value of, we again need to convert the integer value to string so that we can type it in this provided XPath element. So for that we'll create another variable, string variable, that is string final value equal to, and then we'll write string dot value of, so we need to write the value of integer, we need to convert the integer value, and we'll give the integer variable as LC. So over here we'll write final value. So this is all that we need to do. We'll save it and we'll run it again, and we'll see if the calculated value gets entered into the text box, the XPath that we have found. We'll go over here. So the XPath image is still loading. The poll is still loading. This time it's taking more time, so I think it will gonna fail. Let's see. Oh, it's not gonna fail. But we don't have results from here. Let's click on this poll. Not able to view this poll. Oh, it's taken me to the second page. Let's close it and run the script again. Let's run it again. Basically it has calculated the value from the HTML component, but it was not viewable on the web page, so the poll was not loaded completely. So this time it's loaded completely, so it should print the value as 9 over here. Let's see. Script is still running. Okay, so the 9 is actually printed. To go to Eclipse, so it will show the string value, and then it converted into the integer values, and then it has calculated the value 9, and then we have converted the integer value again to the string value, and then we have printed it through the selenium.type method. So it has printed the 9 value over here. So this is the example. This is how we can work with a dynamic data on any web page. So we have seen how to work with the dynamic web tables, dynamic data in the web tables, and we've also seen how to handle the dynamic captchas on a web page. So that is all we're gonna do in this module. This is really important module, and this is the last module of Selenium RC. So do practice all the stuff that's been taught in this module. So do try to solve the web table example, the web table question that I have provided you in that example. So this will clear all your doubts regarding the dynamic data handling through Selenium scripts. So that's all for now. So take care of yourself. We'll meet again in the next module. Thank you. Bye.